Hi guys, welcome back to BLAK Interiors. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Caio Xerri-Alves, design manager and partner here at BLAK. And before I continue, if you haven't done so yet, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to the channel by pressing the button below. And when you're doing that, don't forget to press the bell to get notifications as well. Now, on today's video, we're going to be talking about home office. Some of us are fortunate enough to have a flexible work schedule, and you're going to be working from home, and creating the ideal space for you to be productive is essential. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things to consider. Number one, and most important, obviously, is the ideal desk for your home office. Now, it all depends on what sort of work you do. Some of us, I think we need to stay in the desk for long hours. I always recommend you to consider a desk that you can change the height of the desk, because it's never recommended for anybody to be sitting for more than 2 to 3 hours in a row without standing up. So having a flexible standing desk is the number one tip that I would give to you. We interior designers know how important it is to have one, because sometimes we need to sit for 12, 14 hours in a day, and trust me, you need to have a desk that you can stand up from time to time, and your chiropractor will also thank you for that. Now, another thing to consider is the ideal chair. An office chair doesn't need to be boring, doesn't need to be ugly. There's lots of nice designer office chairs that I can recommend. One of them is my favorite, is the 𝗰ance chair, like this image here. You can find a link below in the descriptions to a store that has the nicest ones that I found in the market here in Dubai. And then once you have the most two important things of the room selected, you're going to make sure that you place that desk in the right spot. Things to consider are the lighting of where you're going to place the desk, because you need to have an abundance of daylight. You need to also, if the office is in a closed room, you need to have the right lights and spotlights for that. I always recommend you to, no matter what room it is in your house, to consider no more than 4,500 kelvins for your lights, because anything higher than that is more for like an industrial kitchen and a hospital, and you don't want your office to look like that. But then you have like an extra light on your desk, like this beautiful designer desk lamp here, for example. So those two things are considered the lighting. The placement of the desk as well, you need to think about in the natural light. Where is the window in reference to your desk? Why? Many of us nowadays, we go on Zoom meetings and calls all the time, and if you have a window behind you, you're gonna have the worst camera view that you can imagine. So always have the window on the right or on the left of your desk, not behind or in front of you. That's what I would recommend, okay? So once you have that established and you have that window where the window should be, you're going to think about what's behind you. What are you going to show people when you're on camera, right? You need to make sure they have a beautiful desk shelf like this with nice books, or you have artwork. You can frame the degree that you're so proud of as well, but just make sure that you have something nice as a background, because it's very, very important. Otherwise, you're always going to have to be that guy that does your blurry backgrounds as well when you go on calls, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you do a blurry background, we know that you're not in an appropriate background, so think about that, okay? So you don't have to blur your background. Another thing as well that you need to consider when you're designing your home office is the acoustics of your home office, right? How can you improve the acoustics of your home office? Rugs on the floor can absorb noise and sound, so make sure that where your desk is, you have a nice sized rug anchoring your desk and your chair. So when you move the chair about, it doesn't make too much noise, and doesn't make too much distraction to you, and when you're making calls and meetings, that can be considered as well. And another way to improve the acoustics of a room, say for example, you have a scenario where your home office has a glass door between the living room and the home office. Just adding a curtain or anything on the textiles behind that is going to absorb the sound and is going to improve the acoustics of your room. So you can even record your YouTube videos in there, for example, for instance, and have a better sound quality. So that's a few things that I would like to highlight. I do have some more tips and tricks. So if you want to know more, once again, let us know what you want to know. And if If you haven't done so yet, please remember to subscribe to the channel by pressing the button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week when we're going to be talking about kids' bedroom and all the do's and don'ts to consider when designing a kid's bedroom. Thank you guys.